Welcome back, grade 10, unit 3, Why Explore Space. Today we're going to focus on speaking. I want you to open your textbook, the textbook for listening and speaking. Go to unit 3, page 63. Cool beans. Focus on speaking. First off, we're going to review the vocabulary as we usually do. We have all the words that we've been talking about throughout unit 3 in the sense of questions, and you have to answer. So I want you to read each question, annotate it, and also the answers, of course, and notice the bold-faced words, then circle the correct answer. Okay? Pause your video. To do this, you will answer questions 1 until 15. Go ahead. Great, that brings us to the expansion. After having reviewed the words of Unit 3, we're going to expand by doing something more with it. In this case, you're going to read the article about space tourism, and you notice the bold-faced words, right? Like we've got commercial, atmosphere, gravity, mission, we've got surface, we've got astronauts, we have all these words. Now, you're going to complete the definitions with the correct letter. Okay, so for example here, commercial goes with a seat on a commercial space flight is C, sold by a business to make money. So you must look for the correct definition and explanation of this sentence which holds that particular keyword. Okay, pause your video to do that. Go ahead. Great! That brings us to creating. So after having reviewed the words and phrases, we expanded by using them in a different context and setting. And now we're creating something with those words. Now you're supposed to make a prediction about the future of space exploration. Agree or disagree with others' predictions. Use at least one of the words from review and expand. Use the expressions from the box. Here we have in 10 years, 50, or in the future. There will, there won't be, people will, won't, and then you can use cause, created, noun, solve, send, or travel. Now, the example here, for instance, in 50 years, people will travel to Mars on commercial missions as tourists. And then another person could answer, maybe, but I don't think there will be enough innovation or money to do that in 50 years. A, in the future, spaceflight will become more dangerous. There will be more debris orbiting Earth. Right, that means the debris might collide with the spacecraft. So basically, it's trying to talk and to create a prediction about the future, agreeing or disagreeing with your friend's prediction. Now, you could try to do this by yourself. You just role play you being A and B at the same time. Or maybe you would want to do this through audio call or video call with your friend. But please do practice this, because this is your chance to practice your speaking. And then in our Zoom meeting, I might ask 1 or 2 of you to do this for me. So please make sure you've practiced it. Don't miss your chance to learn. Okay? Cool. That brings us to grammar. What do you know about space? Take the space quiz. Check the statements that are true. Notice the bold-faced verbs. Go ahead. Awesome beans. That brings us to the present perfect and simple past. We're talking about tenses. Now, in your ebook for reading and writing, the other ebook, you already have in Unit 1, in the general information, you already have a table of all the tenses. So you can just basically go to the table of contents, look at Unit 1, and go to general information, and there you will find the tenses grid. And it already explains the present perfect and the simple past. The present perfect is something that talks about something that happened at an indefinite, not an exact time in the past, and it can be that it is still happening until today, or that it started in the past and still has an effect until today. Whereas the simple past tense, it's done in the past, has no effect to the future. Yeah? So it could have happened at an indefinite time, so we don't know exactly when it happened. Like, astronauts have landed on the moon, have they landed on Mars? So to make the present perfect, you will use have plus verb 3. Yeah? Have or has plus verb 3. Use the present perfect and adverbs like twice or many times to talk about repeated actions at some time in the past. The astronaut has gone to the International Space Station many times. Use the present perfect with not yet to talk about something that has not happened before now. Astronauts haven't traveled to Mars yet. See, it's present perfect, yeah? For the plural, it's have. For the singular, it's has. Use the simple past to talk about things that happened at a specific time in the past. Astronauts first landed on the moon in 1969. When did they land on the moon? So if it's a definite time, a specific time in the past, you use the simple past. Other than that, you would use the present perfect. For the singular, we use has plus verb 3. For the plural, we would use have plus verb 3. Now we're going to try it out. Complete the sentences, write the simple past or the present perfect form of the verbs on the blank place. Yes, you have number 1 until 5. Pause your video, go ahead. Awesome. Number 3, read about the history of space age on the next page. Now we're going to take turns making statements about the facts using the simple past and the present perfect, and using the verbs from the box. So basically this is just now you practice the grammar in a writing setting on making sentences. Now we're going to practice it in the form of speaking. The example, let's see, 60 women have gone into space. Right. And the first woman in space was Valentina Tereshkova. She went into space in 1963. See? Present perfect, simple past. We can use be, go, land, orbit, send, spend time, travel, and walk. Now here we have the history of the time-space. So the modern space age began in 1942. When the first rocket entered outer space. Since then, many new records for space travel have been set. So here are the categories. Women in space, satellites in orbit, people in space for more than 1 year, people on the moon, spacewalks, and number of manned space flights, and then the total number during space age, and then the fun facts about it. Now this grid you can use to try to make statements about the facts using the simple past and present present perfect. Right. Okay, using the verbs from the box. Try to make statements. Pause your video. Go ahead. Awesome. That brings us to the pronunciation. Yeah? Simple past and past participles. ED endings. Now, the ending ED is pronounced 3 ways. Yeah? It can be pronounced when the base verb ends in a T or D sound. So this adds a syllable. That would be exploded. So it adds the syllable et. Or as a T when the base verb ends in a voiceless sound. Damaged. Yeah. As D when the base verb ends in a vowel. For example, the first one was started or decided. It. Stopped, worked, passed, watched. You just hear the T. Or the last one when the base verb ends in a vowel or voiced sound. Played, caused, changed, returned, traveled. Yeah, like that with the D. Now I'd like you to listen to the ED sounds in the underlined words and check whether you hear the ED, the ut, the t, or the d. Yeah? Which one do you hear? Let's go.
1,
The satellite exploded.
2,
The debris damaged the spacecraft.
3,
Scientists have tracked its orbit for many years.
4,
Have they solved the problem yet?
5,
Debris surrounded the planet.
6,
How many astronauts have walked on the moon?
7,
NASA decided to end the program.
8,
What caused the damage?
9,
They finished the spacewalk in less than an hour.
Okay, I'm gonna let you listen to it one more time.
1,
The satellite exploded.
2,
The debris damaged the spacecraft.
3,
Scientists have tracked its orbit for many years.
4,
Have they solved the problem yet?
5,
Debris surrounded the planet.
6,
How many astronauts have walked on the moon?
7,
NASA decided to end the program.
8,
What caused the damage?
9,
They finished the spacewalk in less than an hour.
Okay, check your answers, and in our Zoom meeting we will discuss this. Very good. Okay, we go to number 3. Asking and answering questions. Using the words from the box to complete the conversations. Remember to use ed endings with correct pronunciation. We've got cause, collide, create, endure, tour, visit, want, and work. Try to answer them by using the correct word and try to say it out loud, pronouncing it correctly. Okay, pause your video, do number 1 till 6. Go ahead. Great, that brings us to the last part, which is the speaking skill, supporting your opinion. How do you support your opinion? I read the following block about space junk. Notice the words and phrases in bold. I think we should stop going into space until we figure out what to do with all the junk we leave up there. One reason is that it might come crashing down on us. For example, a woman in Texas was hit by a piece of space debris. She was walking in a park early one morning when a small piece of metal landed on her shoulder. This is the only time someone has been hit by space junk so far, but it could happen again. Now, ways to support your opinion. For a strong opinion, use all 3 ways to support your idea. Yeah, you can give a reason, you can give an example, and you elaborate. This goes back to your P or peel. You give your point, and you give reasons, you explain it, you give an example, which is your evidence. You elaborate is you give more details, more explanation. If you want to be very strongly opinionated, you should give a reason, an example, and elaborate. Yeah? These are the examples that you can use on how to do that. Now I'd like you to complete the paragraph with language for supporting an opinion and underline the sentence that elaborates. Yeah, this is really P and peel. Point, explanation, which is your reasoning, example, which is your evidence, and elaborating if necessary and linking it back. The elaboration actually goes into the P and peel for explanation or elaboration. Yeah, so as you are looking here, complete the paragraph with language, yeah, for supporting an opinion, and underline the sentence that elaborates. Some people believe that one day humans might be able to live on Mars. What would we put here, what would we put here, and what would we put here? Yeah, please fill that out and underline the sentence that elaborates. Which one elaborates is the one that gives more details, that gives an additional detail. So if you can look here, The first part here, one reason. Here she states, this is the P for peel, remember? States the point, and then one reason is the explanation, the development, and then the example, which is the evidence, and then there is some added elaboration, added detail of explanation, and then the linking back. That's how it works. Try number 1, and then we will go to number 2. Here actually we were supposed to sit in a circle, read question A, state your opinion, support your opinion with a reason, give an example, and or elaborate. Yeah, go around the circle so that each student gives an answer. So here we're going to try do this during our Zoom meeting. For instance, do you agree with the blogger's belief that space junk is a big problem for people on Earth? So you will state your opinion, number 1, which is your P for peel. Then you support your opinion with a reason. That's the E for explanation. Then you give an example. That's the 3 for example and evidence. And then you might add more elaborating information details, and then you link it back. Okay, awesome. That will be what we will do during our Zoom meeting. Okay, very good. Please make sure that you really do practice the speaking. I know you're by yourself at home. It doesn't sound weird. You could do it with someone at home or with a friend through video call or audio call, whatever. But please practice it because you need it. Okay, to wrap this lesson up, we started with reviewing the vocabulary of Unit 3. Yeah, we answered the question and circled the correct answers by looking at the keywords, which is the vocab for this unit, in every question. After that, we did an expansion of the vocabulary by recognizing words in context of a text and connecting the words and sentences with the keywords to a correct definition. And then for the creating, we made predictions about the future of space exploration, either agreeing or disagreeing with someone else's prediction. For the grammar, we looked at the present perfect tense. We use have for plural and has plus verb 3, yeah, for singular, and we looked at the simple past tense. We used that to complete sentences as a writing exercise, and then we tried it out as a speaking exercise by making statements about facts using the present perfect and the simple past. For pronunciation, we looked at the simple past and the past participle endings of ed. That can sound as ut, as t, or as d, and had to listen to recognize the sounds and answer the questions, filling in the blanks with the right words and trying to speak, pronouncing it with the right pronunciation. The speaking skill was the last thing we did, was supporting opinions. Yeah, really strongly looking at our P or our PO, as in giving your point, which is your opinion. Then E for explanation, explaining that opinion. E, again, to give an example, which is your evidence, and then either adding an elaboration of extended detail and then linking it back. Very good. That was our lesson for today. You did a great job. Please remember, practice the speaking. Don't skip it. It is important, right? Okay, I honor you for your hard work. You are awesome. God bless you, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.